What if I told you there's a dog on Earth that can make a full-grown wolf think twice before attacking? Sounds crazy, right? But let me show you something even more surprising, because the real question isn't who wins. The real question is, what happens when unstoppable meets unbreakable? And trust me, once you hear what these two animals can actually do, your idea of strong will never be the same. Before we even start, picture this for a second. You're standing in the middle of a quiet mountain field. The air is cold, the wind is slow, and out of the silence, you hear two sounds you never want to hear at the same time. A deep, chest-shaking growl, and a long, ghost-like howl. One belongs to a Kangal, the other belongs to a wolf. And in that moment, you know something serious is about to happen. Now let's talk about the Kangal first, because people hear dog and assume they already know the story. You don't. Not with this dog. A Kangal isn't your normal fluffy backyard pet. A Kangal is a walking tank with fur. Think about a dog with the calm brain of a monk and the bite force of a sledgehammer. No joke. A Kangal can hit over 700 PSI in one bite. That's stronger than most lions. That's strong enough to crush bone in seconds. But strength is only one part of the story. The real secret weapon of the Kangal is something people never talk about. It's not the size, not the bite, not the speed. It's loyalty. A Kangal isn't just a guardian, it's a protector with a mission. This dog will fight for its family until the last breath. That mindset alone changes everything when danger shows up. Now, let's switch sides for a moment. Because the wolf is not some weak cartoon villain. A wolf is a hyper-efficient, purpose-built predator. A wolf doesn't just attack, it plans, it tests, it watches. Wolves are so smart they can read body language like humans. They attack when the odds are perfect, and only when they think they will win. And here's the part that might shock you. When wolves are alone, they behave completely differently. A lone wolf is cautious, careful, calculating, but in a pack, everything changes. A pack becomes a single mind with many bodies, fast, coordinated, fearless. A wolf pack can take down animals 10 times larger than themselves, even animals with horns, hooves, and armor. So now the real question is this: what happens when a wolf shows up near a flock of sheep protected by a Kangal? Let me take you into that moment. It usually starts quietly. The sheep freeze first, their ears twitch, their heads turn in the same direction. They don't see anything yet, but they feel something. Predators send out an energy you can't miss. The Kangal notices within seconds, not because it's scared, but because it's trained by thousands of years of instinct to look for that one thing, movement where movement doesn't belong. The wolf steps out, slow, silent, eyes locked, tail low, head steady. It's not rushing, it's studying. And this is where so many people get the story wrong. A wolf doesn't want to fight. A wolf wants an easy meal. If it senses danger, it backs off. But when it sees a Kangal, it doesn't walk away immediately. It calculates. The Kangal steps forward, not running, not barking, just standing taller, chest out, head high, completely calm. That look alone has made many wolves back up without a single strike. But here's where things get intense. Sometimes the wolf doesn't back down. Sometimes it's hungry, desperate, or simply testing the guardian. And when that happens, everything you think you know about animal fights goes out the window. The Kangal doesn't talk, doesn't warn, doesn't negotiate. It goes from calm to lightning instantly. A blur of muscle, a flash of teeth, a move so quick that many people watching in real life don't even see the first strike. They only hear it. A deep, violent snap of jaws shutting. But the wolf isn't slow either. People forget this. A wolf isn't just strong, it's athletic, flexible, explosive. A wolf can dodge, duck, leap, turn, pivot, and counterattack like an MMA fighter powered by adrenaline and nature. Now imagine these two hitting each other with full force. A 120 to 150 pound Kangal versus a 90 to 120 pound wolf, both with jaws that can crush, both with stamina built for long battles, both trained by nature for survival. You'd think the fight ends fast. It doesn't. These encounters become a test of will, a test of endurance, a test of mental strength. Because the Kangal doesn't fight like a wild animal, it fights like a guardian. Its attacks are direct, powerful, purposeful. Every movement is about pushing the wolf away from the flock. The wolf, on the other hand, fights like a strategist. It circles, it tests openings, it snaps and pulls back. It looks for weakness. Now here's something most people never expect. In many real encounters, the wolf eventually realizes it made a mistake, not because the Kangal is just stronger, But because the Kangal refuses to quit, wolves don't fight hopeless battles. They fight smart ones. If the chance of winning drops too low, the wolf chooses to survive. That's why in real guard dog situations, wolves usually retreat. But here's the twist. A lone wolf is one story. A wolf pack is another. This is the part nobody wants to imagine, but we have to talk about it. When a pack shows up, the energy changes instantly. The forest goes silent. The air gets heavier. A single Kangal can sense it before anything even moves. You might think no dog can stand against a pack of wolves. And yes, that's true in many cases. But remember something important. Kangals were never meant to fight alone. They usually work in teams. 2, 3, sometimes even 5 Kangals guarding the same flock. So imagine this, 4 Kangals standing shoulder to shoulder, their breathing slow, their eyes focused, their energy electric, facing a pack of wolves forming a half circle around them, tails low, bodies tense, minds calculating. This standoff can last minutes, sometimes longer. Nobody wants to make the first mistake. Nobody wants to be the one to lose. But when the first wolf steps in, the dogs explode forward. The ground shakes. The sound is pure chaos. Growls, snaps, the blur of fur and teeth. And then, an outcome you wouldn't believe unless you saw it. Most wolf packs retreat, not because the dogs are stronger, but because the dogs are unified, focused, coordinated. They defend, not hunt, and that makes them unpredictable. But let's bring the story back to the original question. A true one-on-one. A Kangal versus a single wolf. Who wins? Here's where the curiosity twists again. The answer isn't simple, and it's not because they're equal. It's because real fights don't work like video games. The Kangal has power, bite force, size, determination, and a guardian mindset. The wolf has stamina, speed, instinct, experience hunting real animals. If a wolf attacks head-on, the Kangal has the advantage. If the wolf uses hit-and-run tactics, the fight lasts longer, much longer. But there's one final detail that decides everything, and almost no one talks about it. Wolves fight to survive. Kangals fight to protect. That changes everything, because an animal fighting for itself fights hard, but an animal fighting for something behind it fights harder. Imagine being a wolf and realizing the dog in front of you isn't backing down, not slowing down, not afraid. Nothing you do makes it step away from the sheep behind it. That's why in most real situations, the wolf gives up first. But here's one more twist before we end, and this might be the most surprising part of all. Wolves avoid Kangals, not because they know the dog is stronger, but because wolves respect risk. A wolf doesn't fight battles it doesn't need to fight. That's why wolves have survived for thousands of years. They're smart, and sometimes the smartest move is walking away. The Kangal, on the other hand, doesn't choose the fight, it accepts it, because that's what it was born to do. Protect, guard, stand firm even when the odds look impossible. And that's why the real winner in Kangal versus wolf isn't just the stronger animal, it's the one with the stronger purpose. So now that you've seen how these two incredible animals think, move, and fight, let me leave you with one more image. A quiet mountain, a dark night, a pair of glowing eyes in the distance, a wolf watching, waiting, thinking, and in front of the flock, a single Kangal standing tall, not moving, not blinking, just watching right back. Two minds, two instincts, two legends facing each other in silence. And in that silence, you finally understand the truth. This was never just a fight between a dog and a wolf. It was a battle between caution and courage, between strategy and loyalty, between hunger and honor. And that is why the story of Kangal versus wolf is still told today. Because it's more than a fight, it's a reminder. Strength isn't just muscle. Strength is purpose. Strength is heart. Strength is that unbreakable moment when you stand up for something that depends on you. And that is why the Kangal remains one of the greatest guardians the world has ever seen.